Okay, so breaking news. This just came down the news wire. Let me turn off this air for a smidget. Sources are confirming Kyrie Irving has just been traded to the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I talked about this on my video yesterday. Go check out that video for yourself of the possible teams that could land Kyrie Irving. Now, I felt like the dark horses would have been the Atlanta Hawks, but I understood that the Brooklyn Nets didn't want to trade Kyrie Irving in the same conference where they have to meet, where they have to see him all the time. So I also picked a team out west, and I said either the Phoenix Suns or the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the Dallas Mavericks are going to send Spencer Dinwiddie, Smith, as well as a first-round draft pick and multiple second-round draft picks. Now, if you talk about the Brooklyn Nets organization, they are feeling a sigh of relief. The owner, as well as the general manager, they had their difficulties dealing with Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving, ever since he was a member, ever since he signed with the Brooklyn Nets, has been a thorn in their butt side. Even though, I told you guys earlier, before the season started, Kyrie Irving had to have a great, phenomenal season if he goes out in free agency, or if he wants the Brooklyn Nets to sign him to a max extension and then trade him to another team. He's been on his best behavior thus far. I think his stat line is 25, 5, and 5. And he's been available for every single game. So I also said that Mark Cuban is a Maverick, sort of say, even though he owned the Dallas Mavericks. And I felt like Mark Cuban, out of all the teams, was going to put all the stocks. He was going to make sure that this trade was going to be executed. Now, a lot of people were, and I saw a live stream earlier this morning talking about the possibility of Kyrie Irving landing with the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, I even speculated that momentarily. I knew it would have been difficult for the Los Angeles Lakers to sign Kyrie Irving because they just simply didn't have enough. Even though Russell Westbrook is Sixth Man of the Year and the salaries match by swapping Russ for Kyrie Irving, I felt like the Brooklyn Nets organization didn't feel like that would have been a good fit, including Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant did have his issues with Russ, and I just didn't think that was going to iron him out that fast and that quickly, even though he's in the running for Sixth Man of the Year. But if you look at what has transpired, the Dallas Mavericks are now have Kyrie Irving. Now, what does this mean for the Dallas Mavericks moving forward? Obviously, this makes them a contender. This makes them a strong candidate for contender for the West. I think they have enough firepower between Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, as well as the rest of that squad, to contend with the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies, as well as the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets. I feel like they have enough firepower to get that done. Now, I feel like they have enough firepower to beat the Memphis Grizzlies in a 7-game series. I think this puts them over the edge. And I think it will be a rough and tough if they ever meet in the playoffs, the Golden State Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks. And I feel like this would catapult them in beating the Golden State Warriors, because the Golden State Warriors are getting older. Klay Thompson isn't the same Klay Thompson. Steph Curry, even though he's doing great, it's a moment of time where Steph Curry is going to have an injury. Draymond Green, other than him wanting a max contract, that's pretty much all you're getting out of Draymond Green. And if you look at those young core players that they were gloating over last year, they're not meeting expectations. So I feel like the Dallas Mavericks have a strong chance of representing the West in the Western Conference Finals, and it's just a formality, excuse me, that this is going to happen. Now, I talked about it in yesterday's video. I don't think there's enough basketballs in the arena, much less in the universe, that Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic are going to be able to utilize in a game. Luka Doncic is an ISO player who needs the basketball. Kyrie Irving is an ISO player who definitely needs the basketball. Now, Kyrie Irving has demonstrated with the Brooklyn Nets when he played alongside Kevin Durant that he can be a Robin to a Batman. So Kyrie Irving can push his ego aside and just let Luka Doncic get his touches, and then he'll just take whatever scraps that are needed. And there's going to be games where he's going to get more touches than Luka Doncic. I feel like the only concern I have with this trade is the chemistry between Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. They're going to have to develop that very, very quickly. And they're also going to have to get an understanding on how they're going to micromanage the games. Who's going to get the last touch of the ball if it's down to 2 points. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to iron all that stuff out, but they don't have a lot of games. They're going to have to quickly come to an agreement. But I think Luka Doncic is the perfect person to play alongside Kyrie Irving. I think Luka Doncic will put aside his pride and ego for the benefit of the team in order to make Kyrie Irving happy. Now, there's a flip side to this coin. How is Kyrie Irving going to? Is he going to play nice with the Dallas Mavericks? Mark Cuban in them, because Mark Cuban is a player-friendly type of owner. Now, if you can't get along with Mark Cuban, you can't get along with anybody. I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. Now, Kyrie Irving had several stops along the way. He had issues with playing alongside LeBron James in Cleveland when they won a title, and he wanted to leave there. He had a difficulty as far as in harmony with Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics and the Boston Celtics fans. So he left, he exit stage left there. And the Brooklyn Nets, he had a hard time dealing with the ownership, as well as Sean Marks, as well as the Brooklyn Nets fan base, their community. So he had a hard time there as well. So that's 3 strikes. Him going to Dallas, I feel like that's a better situation for Kyrie Irving. Like I said, Mark Cuban is a player-friendly owner. He thinks of the players first before himself, and Mark Cuban will definitely give him an extension in the offseason. He will max Kyrie Irving and allow Kyrie Irving to be Kyrie Irving. There's going to be seasons where Kyrie Irving wants to sit out a couple of games. I think Mark Cuban is the perfect person. He's that will say, okay, we'll just sit out a few games. We got Luka. We're all good in the hood, okay? I don't think it's that serious and that deep. I think Kyrie Irving needs to be in a structure where it's not conducive as far as rules and regulations. Everyone is pretty much treated the same. Now, earlier when Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant came to Brooklyn, it was no problem. They just allowed Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant just do whatever you guys wanted to do. But as the seasons went along and they didn't win any titles together, Sean Marks and the owner started clamping down. They started tightening the belt, going like, okay, we're going to have some restrictions between you two guys, because it's not paving down the road as far as us winning titles. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving didn't do diddly squat for the Brooklyn Nets as far as getting them a championship. And this is going to be in NBA history, 30 years down the road. There's going to be documentaries about this, how this was a failed seasons for not only Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. I mean, they were in their prime and they couldn't get the Brooklyn Nets, even to the NBA Finals. Okay, that's how bad it got. Now, I'm pretty sure the excuse makers like Kendra Perkins and them, they're gonna make excuses saying, "Oh, they was injury prone. They just ran up against the wrong team in circumstances like the Milwaukee Bucks and things of that nature." But this is going to be, 10, 20, 30 years from now, people are going to look at this and say, you had this dynamic duo that went to Brooklyn. They had everything in place. They had a team in place. Kyrie Irving didn't like the team, so they traded away the players to get James Harden as well as Kevin Durant. There was really no structural leadership between Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving once famously said, "We don't need a coach. We're so talented, we don't need a coach." All right. Kevin Durant was lackadaisical with his first stint with the Brooklyn Nets. And it just been proven a nightmare, and Brooklyn didn't get anything from it. They didn't even get an Eastern Conference Finals series win between Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. But now that's in the past. Let's talk about the future. Kyrie Irving is definitely heading to the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks are going to give up Spencer Dinwiddie. They're going to give up Smith. They're going to give up one first round pick, maybe more, and multiple second round picks. I think the Brooklyn Nets are going to take that, and they're going to get half of their picks back from that, the worst trade they could possibly made, by giving up all those players and draft picks to the Houston Rockets just for a rental of James Harden. So I think the Brooklyn Nets feel good. They got Kyrie Irving out of their system. They don't have to deal with him no more. They got Spencer Dinwiddie. They got Smith, as well as a first round pick plus multiple second round picks that they can parlay into a veteran player to help Kevin Durant, or just draft someone. Now, it would not shock me nor surprise me if the season is over with and the Brooklyn Nets don't go anywhere. It would not surprise me if Kevin Durant wants a trade. Now, I feel like Sadai and Sean Marks would trade Kevin Durant in the offseason to get even more draft picks. And when you look at it, on the outside looking in, I feel like the Brooklyn Nets are ready to rebuild. Okay, they're ready to rebuild. They're ready to start all over. They're not going to make it to the NBA Finals even with Kevin Durant, and they understand that. So the best course of action is the first shoe dropping, trading Kyrie Irving this year. The second shoe dropping, Kevin Durant being traded in the offseason. You're going to have a slew of teams interested in Kevin Durant, and they're going to get the rest and plus more draft picks for Kevin Durant. They're starting all over. You can just look from afar that they're starting all over. And I don't even see Ben Simmons making it next year. I think he'll make it past the next trade deadline next year, but it would not shock me nor surprise me if they trade away Ben Simmons, because they just got damaged goods. Ben Simmons is, he can do everything else well except score. And I did a live stream and I told you guys the last dance, and I felt like this was the last dance of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Ben Simmons. I think in the next couple of years, you're going to see them trade. You're going to see them trade Kevin Durant in the offseason. And you're going to see them trade Ben Simmons before the trade deadline next year. He might stay a little bit more. But, now I see a whole bunch of of news articles talking about the possibility of Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns. But yeah, that it's an end of an era. I told you guys this was going to happen. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. Deuces, guys.